In Genesis chapter 26 verse 5, it says, "Because Abraham listened and obeyed my voice, and consistently kept my charge, my commandments, my statutes, and my ways, God blessed him." If you look at the verses before that, it talks about how God was giving him land and even an inheritance for land for even his children, his descendants. And when you read it, it shows that the reason he was able to get the favor of the Lord and really get into the land, get into the promise, obtain the promise, is because he listened and obeyed the voice of God. So that's my exhortation for you guys today. There's a difference between just hearing and actually listening to the voice of God. Jesus said that my sheep know my voice. It's a stranger's voice they shall not follow. So we hear different things all day. We hear our thoughts. Maybe the enemy's trying to give us some type of persuasion or pay attention to something to distract us from what God is trying to show us. And many of us have said, man, I wasn't sure if that was the voice of God. Was that me? But then afterwards I realized definitely that was God. There's a difference between hearing God's voice, because all of us are hearing different things that sound like different thoughts or however it may come. We're hearing, but it's about listening. Start listening to the voice of God, because it's when you listen to the voice of God and you start obeying his voice that you'll start to see your life transform inward and then outward. Your whole life will start to reflect the condition of your soul. Your soul's condition prospers as you prosper in hearing and listening the voice of God. So Paul says, I pray that you guys prosper even as your soul prospers. Your soul prospers. The Bible says that without vision, people perish. That vision, a part of what he's talking about, is the voice of God. When you close yourself off, your vision, your senses, its sensitivity to the Spirit of the Lord, you start to wither from the inside, and your life starts to reflect that. Whenever God gives you instruction, he's not trying to kill your fun. He's not trying to ruin whatever you feel like you got going on. He's showing you a better way. And it's about trusting God. When you hear his voice, what's the first thing we say? Was that you, God? Are you trusting God? Are you trusting that he's speaking to you today? Because we lack faith and we lack trust in the Lord. And if we can stir ourselves up in our most holy faith and really trust him and obey him, you'll start to see that when God tells you something, it's for your good. Romans 8:28 says, all things work together for the good of those that love God and are called according to his purpose. So when you are purpose-minded, you know purpose comes from the one that gives purpose. You're inclined to his voice. So do not harden your hearts today. Press into God and find out what he's saying to you today. And don't just hear, but trust that he's speaking to you and that his intentions for you are good and not for calamity, but to give you a hopeful future and an expected end. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.